art. It's not anything. It's art. Everyone's
yes,
like,
yes,
what is it?
I don't do the supervision when it's not requested. So
No, but since your class and since learning this, since we're just waiting, are you recording? Are you recording?
No, we are recording, but
you are.
I will cut this out. We will start.
Okay, good, because I know. But I've been approached by an art person who's been watching my posts, and she is coming tomorrow to take some of my art and produce it.
Oh, wow.
So here you go.
Amazing.
Well done. And to do like, you know, like the more produced, like stationery and tumblers and mugs, and you know, because I don't need it to be an original. I mean, they're just drawings, but I guess, as you probably know, no one's seen it in America. So I'm like, okay. And I have to keep telling them. I sent them the article on where the origins are from. So she's writing a whole backstory for Pablo, and just like bringing, like, this is neurographic art. This is what this is. This is a local artist. She's going to put on a little show for me.
Oh, wow. Please tag us in. And also, Pablo, he will be very happy. He really likes when it's anything arty, anywhere published. He loves it.
Okay, I friended him, but I don't speak Russian. But you know, you can tell him. But
I mean, you can tag him, like the tagging.
Okay. Yeah, because it's very out of my control. All I've been doing is the work and putting it up on the thing and breaking all the rules. And
breaking all the rules. I love that.
So when I break the rules and it's art and we just call it art, it's made a profound experience on people. And I actually think, isn't that quite the goal? Because people have told me, they're like, why does it work? And I'm like, because it's a continuous flow and your eyes and your mind like it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, but what is it? I'm like, whatever you want it to be. But because there's no sharp angles and it flows, people's response to it is just they want to keep looking at it like a Monet or something. They just want to play. It's been really fascinating, you know, because I know in Russia, right, you've said like the market is saturated. Yes, like everybody knows what it is. So here everybody's like, what is it? What's going on? What's happening? I'm like, rounding and more rounding. But it's new to them. So yes, I'll keep you all a part of it, because none of this would have happened without you guys. So
thank you.
We're calling it. So you made abundance. You know, you like your phone, but I predict something better.
I'm pretty sure things happen for a reason. So like, actually today I looked at my phone and thought, well, it's not the newest version, but I'm quite happy with it. So maybe. Okay,
at 40, I said I should have been a mother, and 30 days later, I was pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So maybe you just get a new phone.
You have to be careful with what you think.
Have to be careful what you manifest. Amen. Exactly. All right. And speaking of which, she wants some food. Hold on. I'll be back. I'm here.
Okay, see. So in the meanwhile, I'll tell you, there's someone loud, someone watching TV, I think.
Hi, how are you? I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No,
I'm trying to connect through my computer, but on the computer they ask me for password. On the phone I connect without password, but for computer.
I can give you password. I mean, others connected just through the link, but the password should be in the. But I can give you anyway, if it's easier for you to connect it.
Okay.
So in the meanwhile, while we all preparing, I'll just put it in the chat so you can, there's all the information. So from the chat, you can get the password. So in the meanwhile, I'll tell you what you need to prepare today, so that if you don't have it by hand, you can go and grab it while we are still waiting for a couple of people to join, if they join. So first of all, we need the paper. I suggest we maybe take one or couple of papers, ideally A4, maybe even A3, because we're going to draw quite a bit today. And then also take something thin and nice, not the thick markers, definitely. I'm gonna take my Faber-Castell, this kind of thin pens today. Maybe some others, my thin pens, and also I will use the pencils. So if you need to sharpen, yeah, perfect, eyes can see right. So if you need to sharpen your pencils, you can check that out. There is, okay, I'll just mute if it's out. So my pencils are fine. I just sharpened them before the event. So we have pencils here. And just 2 minutes more to wait if anyone else will join. And then we
Hi,
go.
Brenda. Since I take all these classes with you, I feel like I should say hi, Brenda.
Yeah, you can take this time to greet each other. I think I'll go and grab some more water. I have one glass, but I don't think
it is true. I think I see Brenda like all the time. So I was like, I should say hello. Hello.
Hi, Ray.
Good evening, right? Is it nighttime there? Wait. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's very late for me. It's 11.
Wait. You guys are, so you're going to 11, 12. So you'll be tomorrow when we end. This is so much fun. Oh, so funny. Okay. I just want to say hi. It felt correct.
You also can grab some water. Please prepare your markers, pens. And we can start. I'm fine. Yeah. So, okay. Everyone is ready? And we will go also live on.
Do you pin yourself, right? So that, or do I
Yes,
pin
I
you?
will. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just learning the lingo.
Lana is joining as well.
Ah. Oh my God, I've never taken a class with her.
So, okay.
It's a little bit like a party, you know.
Yeah,
A little,
like a party.
it's a little bit like a party. This is fun. Maybe it's just
We'll
me.
go in our group as well.
Oh, I know why. I've never had Margarita and Lana live at the same time. That's why it's a party for me, because you guys are always switching back and forth.
Yeah,
so now this is cool. All right, it is a party. I get popcorn.
Wonderful. So, hi Lana, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Some people got in because people were asking me for the password.
Okay. I put it now live in our group as well. So if they can't get in for some reason.
Okay. So I'll find it out. Which group? So I send it to people.
The World of Neurographic.
Okay. I'll look it up. Thanks, honey. Good luck. Have fun, guys. Enjoy yourself.
So we'll just go live. Okay, sorry. Okay, everyone is ready. Now it's just a couple of minutes more and we'll get there. Okay, unmute. Wonderful. So I think now everyone who wanted to be here are here. And we can start. So we start, let's talk first about the communication, because today our topic is the neurocontact. And the contact is important in our lives. We have it every day. And as a symbolic, I just had my phone stolen half an hour ago, and it just makes us realize how much the communication, how much connection is important. And luckily, I'm well connected in different modes. So the fact that I don't have a phone anymore, I still feel connected to the world. I still feel that I can reach people, at least most of the people. And yeah, it gives a bit interesting perspective. And I would like also you to tell me why communication and contact is important. What do you think? Anyone wants to go first? You just need to unmute yourself. Yes, Rain, please.
Well, the fact that we've got multiple different languages on a call like this internationally and to be able to learn to listen and not just talk. So having perhaps Neurographica will help assist with a conversation versus reaction. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Language is not always the only way we communicate.
Indeed. Anyone else? Any other ideas? What about you, Brenda? What do you think? Why communication is important?
I think communication is important because, especially in the English language, there's so many nuances. So many times what you say is misinterpreted. So I think it's important to have a way of communication. And I think contact is important because without contact, we don't get that feeling or the love or what you say, the attention that we may look for.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And what about you, Marsha?
Human beings are social animals. It's everything about communication. If we could not communicate, we cannot build anything. We cannot build society. We cannot build personal lives. We cannot build environment which conducive to society to develop, grow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, someone else is joining us. Okay. So, Brigitte, what do you think? I cannot hear it. Just I'll unmute you.
Okay, my English is not good, so I just listen for the moment.
Okay, well, you can say in German. I can translate.
I have some headache today, and I
Okay, that's fine.
don't feel so fine. Yeah.
I will not ask you then.
Thank you.
Hello, Shelley. Nice to see you here. We are now discussing the communication and why communication is important and why contact with other people is important. So if you have anything, any ideas, you're welcome to share.
If we couldn't communicate, we'd just be depressed quite often. I mean, you got to have somebody to talk to.
Indeed.
And it's not always verbal communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. And it's interesting, we all talked about the communication with people, which is like the obvious, but we actually also communicate with the objects. Like, it's a bit strange feeling, but as I told you my example with the phone today, I looked at my phone and there was an advertisement for the newer phones. And I thought, I don't need a new phone. I quite like mine one. And so like, but still I had this feeling. And then the phone disappeared, it was stolen. So we can talk about whether it's intentional, not intentional, or whatever, or just coincidence. But sometimes also like internet, you feel some days internet works fine and other days it just like stops and stops and stops. So there's kind of interesting connection and communication, not just with the people, but sometimes with the objects. And I don't know, have you ever experienced the communication with the objects? Like sometimes you feel like, let's take plants, like when you talk to plants, when you take care about the plants, they grow much better than when you don't. So it's, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you can say it's biology. So obviously, if you put the water, they'll grow, but not always. And remember, there was also research on the water. So the same water, like the water was bottled, and it was put in inside the freezer. But before it was put inside the freezer, each water had its own discussion. Well, not discussion, but some words are being told. To one bottle were being told nice words, to another bottle were being told negative words and swear words, and then after it was frozen, there were different crystals. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, it's very funny because we communicate between us like telepathically. I will start to thinking about water, and a second you start to talk about it.
Oh, that's very interesting. And
Yeah.
so
It's
communication,
energetic.
yeah, that's nice. So the communication is like on different levels. It's not just between people, it's also between us and objects. So, but before I go there today, I'll go through with you through the course structure, so you know what to expect in general. And we will have several lectures, and some of them I will do, some of them Lana will do. Today we will discuss communication in general, and we will discuss communication about how it's connects us to the world. So we talk about subject communication and the self-portrait through the world. So how we portray ourselves through different objects or subjects. And so this is the drawing for today. And then on Sunday, I will do another class, and we will have two types of drawings. One will talk about I and another person. So someone maybe you want to connect to, someone you want to establish connection with, and to discuss them. And or maybe someone with whom you had a conflict, or not exactly disagreements, but who stays in your life and whom you want to keep in your life. And how you can improve the connection with that person. So that we'll do on Sunday. And second drawing we will do on Sunday is about how to stop communication and how to resolve conflict. So maybe someone did really nasty thing in your life, or you really don't like a person and you want to cut all connections through them. Or another reason could be also, for example, if the relationship stopped and there was a breakup, or someone died, but it's still so deep in our mind and heart so that we cannot move on in our lives. So then it's good to keep memories, but not when it disturbs our lives, so we don't go on daily basis. So we will do another drawing which helps us to stop communication and to move on. That doesn't mean that we erase completely the person from our lives, or we do something bad to them. No, we don't do anything. What we do is we influence our mind. And yeah, what time on Saturday, Rain asked? It's gonna be, let me see, I'll check my calendar. Sunday. Yeah, you know what? I will write you, because I think it's written in our group, but I forgot because in my calendar there are many options. But by the end of the lecture, I'll tell you. Okay.
It's 10:30 your time, so, and 2:30 my time.
Okay.
So,
okay.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. I'm so sorry. I forgot your phone was stolen with all your calendar. That was
No, it's
slightly insensitive of me. I realized that once you were like,
no,
so, okay. I'm just notorious for being late. So
Yeah.
Sunday, 10:30.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Wonderful. Actually, my question is, I'm quite flexible, like 10:30 UK time. I know some of you are in United States, and some of you in India or Dubai. So let me know if you would want to move it. So if there are enough people who would want to move it, we could also move it a bit later. Like I could do it 1 o'clock, I think, UK time, London time, GMT. Anyway, we will talk about this later. Let's continue. So then another topic will be the family. Lana will do with you a drawing about how the family's connection is being done, and how it's to put different members of the family on the right place. And also we will do around another drawing about communication circles. So it's about you and different people in your life, and how are they set in different levels. So it will be like a mandala of people. And different people will be set on different levels of the communication. So that will be very interesting. And this kind of drawing also really shows the reality of where you are, and also how you can change it if you are not happy with the communication at the moment, with communication with the people, and what can you do about it. Okay, and then So I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, then that's all. And then one more, I think there will be one more drawing case about what you do not like in people. Like it will be very interesting in terms of like when you communicate, there's some people whom you don't like, or there's some specific aspects in people you don't like. So we will draw also that one. This is will be very interesting, and also very interesting to see how you work with it, because this drawing shows a lot also about yourself, but I'm not going to tell you what now, because you need first to draw it and then we'll discuss it, because otherwise it will not be correct and interesting. So this is about the program. I think you, after today's class, I will also put it in the notes so you can see all the program, the list. Unfortunately, because of my phone situation, I couldn't do it before the lecture. I had to urgently block everything. Yeah. So this is all in regards to the program. So we will meet, we're meeting today. Today is Friday. We meet Sunday. Then Lana will have a thing on Thursday lecture, and then we'll have another Sunday, the last lecture. So we have 4 lectures in this course, and today is our first one. So let me just check the Facebook if they have any questions. No, they don't. Wonderful. So then we can start with our first communication. So we talked a bit about the communication with the objects, with the technologies like a car, computer, Wi-Fi, and I mean, obviously they're not alive, so these are dead objects, but in any case, the way how we treat them, it's not about animal, because with animal, when how you treat them, they will treat you back. It's alive. Not human being, no, but it's a live creature. Whereas with objects, it's more life which we give to them. That's importance which we give to them. So it's more like we give them communication, and this communication is being reflected towards us. So it's like a boomerang. So we create it, and because we create it, we also can influence it. And Carl Jaspers has very interesting theory on communication, existentialism, where he puts communication and activity. And these are 2 important constants in life. So the life consists of communication, which we discussed, like talking one-on-one, and activity. It's about what we do. So activity we cover in other courses, but today's course is devoted to the communication. And in general, if you have a good life plan, there is no need to think about anything else about these 2 aspects, about communication and activity. It's all about communication. So enough of theory. We will go through some theory also some other time, and we will talk about the quadrant of communication. But today, let's start drawing. I think we have like 30 minutes of talking is enough, and let's start drawing. So please prepare your thinner markers or pens, or what's it called, artist pens. This is too thick. I'll take different versions. And you can start thinking where you want to put yourself on the paper. And so it's too thick. No, today I'm picky. I don't like my. You see, I already communicate with the pens. I take them and I feel like I don't like them. This one I like. So first, let's imagine yourself. I'll put it and I'll show you in my drawing. So let's imagine yourself, like who you communicate with. How are you in communication, pro and against, and how do you see the world? So before we start drawing, as usual, we will take our post-it notes, or wherever you write 20 words into minutes. We still will do this task. Just talking. Yeah. As you probably know, who seen my lectures, I liked doing this on the separate big post-it notes. They're quite big. They're like half of A5 size, and it's nice because then you can take it out. You still can write all the 20 words, even more there. And then you put on the other side of the paper. So in this way, you don't write on the paper itself. And sometimes it's better. In the sense that then the paper is clean. And maybe it will be beautiful drawing, which you'll sell to galleries. So then it's good to keep your words aside. And yeah, so let's prepare the paper where you will write 20 words in 2 minutes. I mean, at least 20. It can be more than 20, it can be 50, but minimum 20 words in 2 minutes. And now, before we start, I ask you to close your eyes. And
sorry, Margarita, what is the topic for our drawing today? What is our topic?
Yeah, the topic will be self-portrait through the world. That's what we talk. It's about yourself and how do you communicate with the world through the objects. So I will discuss it through when we have the eyes closed, so you will understand more about it. So if does anyone else has a question? Okay, no one else? That's fine. Then let's close our eyes and let's imagine yourself. Just imagine yourself and imagine all the objects which surround your life. Imagine objects which help you in communication, or maybe with which you communicate. You see, I already used whom, like I felt like it's alive. So obviously it will be computer, as currently we communicate through the computer. Obviously it will be also the phone. I can feel it very well today. And feel a bit yourself. How are you in the communication? Like, how do you feel yourself? And remember also what we do in Neurographica always, like how does your body feel? Like when I start talking about it, I start feeling my belly. And think about how do you see in yourself in the world and how your objects help you to portray it in this world. So let's just breathe in and breathe out. And again, breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And just imagining all what I told you before. Then I'll just keep myself a bit quiet for 15 seconds so you can just dive into yourself. And then when I say start, you will start writing the words. And then when I say stop, you will just stop writing the words. So I will time 2 minutes. But just before we start this 2 minutes, I want you just to talk to yourself. So like you can close your eyes now and just breathe in and breathe out. And when I say start, you start writing them, okay? So let's start right now. You write about your communication with the world through the objects. Your self-portrait through the world. So we have 1 more minute left. Okay, and let's stop now. So as usual, let's count the words. How many words do you have? I have 23 words. What about you? How many words do you have? You can write down in the chat or just tell me.
I have like 40 small sentences.
40 small sentences. Wow.
Those like descriptions.
Okay, nice. Brenda has 28. Brigitte has 14. Okay.
42.
22.
42.
42. Okay. Nice. Wow, that's amazing. Well, Brigitte, I know you don't want to talk today, but just maybe if you want just to ask yourself. Now, 14 is quite little. We always try to do like at least 20.
Yes, maybe I didn't understand clearly what you meant.
Okay, so okay, we were talking about the communication and how you are communicating with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done NeuroGraphica before, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so in NeuroGraphica, what we do in the beginning, we write.
I know that system, but
yeah.
it was about the question, you know?
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. So today the question is about yourself and how do you communicate with the world? But any words which come to your mind, it doesn't have to be the words exactly on this topic. So it's just the words about you and communication. How do you connect to the world? Because another side of the communication is the connection. So we use communication, speaking, but speaking is one way of communication. We also can communicate with the eyes, we can communicate with the hands,
Okay.
we can communicate in different ways. So it's one way. For example, I wrote some of my words are very typical, like computer, phone. Obviously, currently we use the computer to communicate, phone we use to communicate, to call each other. But then I also used something like smile, because people do communicate with a smile or eyes. Hair, even the hair, it's interesting, especially animals communicate with the hair. Like, you know, the hair goes up when they're angry. So it's very interesting. So another word which, for example, I used was baking. So sometimes we want to please someone or give someone, do something nice to them. So we communicate through the gestures. So not always communication is all about the words. Sometimes communication is more also about actions. So actions and words, they're all interconnected. Oh, sorry, actions and communication or connection, it's all interconnected. So, are you ready to start drawing? I think we are. So, let's take a paper, like ideally A4 or maybe even A3. And then we imagine ourselves. I'll switch the camera to my drawing. But first I want to tell you, so imagine ourselves. So find a space in this drawing. Where would you like to put yourself? Like, it doesn't have to be right in the center, it can be anywhere. So, and you can make any kind of shape of you. So often in NeuroGraphica, we say, oh, draw a circle and imagine this circle is yourself. But today, it can be any shape of you. So, and make it a bit lighter. Don't make it too strong so that you can just, like as a draft, sort of. Okay, so I'll start with mine. So we can just feel the paper and feel where we want to put it. That's first what I'm gonna do. So I want to put it, I'll put myself here. So as you see, it's not like a regular shape, it's irregular shape, it's something interesting. I put myself like, it's irregular, but it's like a NeuroGraphica line. It's not straight, there are not that many angles, maybe this one is angle, but in general, it is unusual shape. And then you also need to put the center of yourself. So where is your center? It doesn't need to be right in the center, it could be anywhere, but Yeah, I feel it like this one is my center. So now I'm thinking, looking at the shape. Do I like the shape? How do I feel about the shape? In general, what you can do, you can put yourself in the circle, or you can round it if it's sharp. For example, I'll show you in another paper. So for example, it could be the case that you drew yourself like that, something like that, star, or you drew yourself like a circle, or maybe something like that, edgy. So in this case, if you have too many edges, you might think about, you might want to round yourself, but it's not obligatory. It's not the algorithm of removal of limitations. So here we can be a bit more flexible about what we do. Okay. So you can decide for yourself. You're big enough in neurographic to already be able to decide it for yourself. And I think, do I want to round it? Maybe I still haven't decided. Maybe slightly. Yeah, taking account what happened today with my phone, I think I want to put myself in like in a round shape. I used to be very edgy, and yeah, my communication was very edgy, and now I'm soft. Yeah, I usually like nowadays I'm quite warm and soft in communication. I always try to make everyone welcome, but at the same time, I think I can protect myself and protect my opinion as well. If someone, I believe everyone can have their own opinion, but if someone wants to push something on you, then that's the time when you might not want to protect yourself. So that's, for me, this is the kind of time when I'm talking about the protection. So I think I quite like now how it is. So now let's start with, we have our object. We have ourselves. So now we can draw around the objects which are important to us. Okay, so we are thinking about like what surrounds us. Like for me, it's definitely the phone, and for me today, I experienced a bit not great. I mean, I still feel quite calm taking out what's happened. I feel universe will take care of me. I'm not too worried. But I still want to draw my phone. But the reason I'm telling you about this conflict, so I feel my phone is not a circle. It's going to be something more sharp. So I'll put it here, like. So you see, my shape is not regular again. So it's a bit rounded, a bit sharping. And then I put the dot and I put the connection. And we put the connection straight. First, we do the connections with the straight lines, and then afterwards we can do them in neurographical way.
And is this another object represent your phone?
Yes, this is object represents my phone, but you draw whichever objects which you feel connects to you. Like how do you portray your life through the world? So you just draw some different objects currently. That's what we're doing. And I mean, I put the phone because for me, the phone is the way I communicate to the world. And today is obviously it's very actual. So for example, another one I'll draw is a computer, and I'll put computer as a square because it's quite squared. It's quite systematic. And yeah, so this is another one.
Margarita?
Yes?
Are we only drawing objects, so we're not drawing people?
Yes, in this drawing, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, we are drawing only objects. We are not drawing any people here. The people we will start from Sunday, but today we're going how we portray ourselves through the objects in communication. So in general, we can draw 7 plus minus 2 as a rule, not counting you. So not too many, not too little. Enough of objects so that they show yourself in the world, but also not necessary too many. From what else I have? I'm thinking my pens and pencils. I would say like they help me. Actually, I'll do a bit tricky here. That's usually what we don't do, but this will be pencils and this will be paper. So they connect together, and this is like they connect to my center. And we are currently drawing only the objects which are in your present life, not what you want to have in the future. Also, it's not just about how you communicate with the world through the objects, but it's also the objects which symbolize you. So for example, maybe your home is very important. Like you have a house and your family live in a house, and this is like the part of you. For me, I'm renting a flat and I don't have like, I live by myself, I'm single. So I don't have this kind of house which would symbolize me, but usually people do have it. So if you do have it, you can draw it. What else could be? I think for me, what symbolizes me more is the luggage. Because outside the lockdown, I'm very well known that I'm the person on the move. And I'm like traveling a lot. And I lived in many different countries, in many different places. So yes, for me, I think the luggage which symbolizes me rather than a house. And because it's a move, so that would be the triangle. And maybe triangle which currently put in a square because of the lockdown. So we are drawing the current situation. So I still have this luggage as a symbol in me, even though currently this year I haven't traveled yet anywhere, but it's still there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. What else we have? So I have this.
For example, cooking for your friends, you use your utensils. It's also communication.
Yes, actually, that's true. Your cooking, it doesn't have to be utensil. It doesn't have to be like the physical, exactly object. It can be something symbolized. So what you said is really great. The cooking, indeed, through the cooking, I show that I care to my friends and to my beloved ones. So I would say that this is a circle. And by the way, you can write down the names. So I'll just choose the thinner ones. So you can write down the names so you remember that. So this one is my phone. This is computer. This one is pens and paper. So this one is luggage. This one is cooking. Another one, as women often have, not necessary, maybe less relevant in lockdown, is a makeup. So we put different kind of makeup to talk differently with the people. So like when you want to be mysterious, you put one type of makeup. When you want to be less mysterious, you put different type of makeup. Or maybe you don't wear makeup at all. So that's also fine.
Haircut, hairstyle.
Yeah, hairstyle could be like it's different. People have very different. Like my hairstyle hasn't changed since my hair grew long enough when I was probably 2 years old or 3 years old. So for me, my hairstyle doesn't really change, but I do put my hair up or down. That changes. But I think for me, what changes and what talks through my body is my smile and my eyes. And it's not exactly object, but it's still my way of communication. And it's not, it's a bit tricky here whether to put it or not, but I'll still put it because it's in my mind and I feel it. I can say your body, Like your body is more as an object than a part of you. Even this one is a bit tricky, but actually the more correct version would be the hair is, yes, it's okay. They're not alive. Well, to some extent not alive. The clothes could be the communication. So we communicate through the clothes. Imagine you go to work. If you work in the corporate industry, for example, you wear a suit. You wear like particular type of clothing. Or when you go to the, I don't know, beach, you wear completely different type of clothing. And if you go to some wedding, you wear another type of clothing. So the clothes also help us to communicate. So yeah, I think I'm not big fan of clothes, but I think they do help. And I do choose specific colors for specific days. So I think, yeah, for me that helps. And I would put clothes in the square, but maybe like square rounded. So this is my way of communication with clothes. So, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can have 7 plus minus 2. Ideally, I would want to have 7. 7 is my favorite number. And we do not count ourselves. So think about, like, tell me about your object. Maybe this will help me also to figure out which, what did you draw? Who wants?
I did my house, car,
yes,
plants,
a car's car. Yeah, nice.
candle.
Candle. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Books and iPad, phone, computer, and yeah, and iWatch.
iWatch, yeah. That's true. Shelley said artwork and art supplies. Yes, obviously. We all are artists here to one or another. Well, some of us are more artists, but like I'm more neurograph than artist. Yes, Rain.
I put my studio, my Pilates studio, just because of and then it kind of is in lockdown. So like you, I had to, like your luggage, like I haven't been to work, but you know, most people know me like the Zen Pilates yoga teacher, and it's weird. So if I could even put an X, I would, but it's still a huge piece of who I am in my languaging. But the studio is usually I'm with people. I just haven't been able to do that. But it's pretty big on my piece of paper considering I haven't done it for a while. And then I put art with that new business idea because this is happening. And again, I put that in a triangle with a big old circle around it, like a nice cushion, because I don't really know what's happening with that. But she's coming at 2 to get the work. So there's obviously a new representation of me that I'm going to be seeing. I knew it was new. And then everything that everyone else had said. But those 2, I guess my business, because my business was present on my paper.
Yeah, okay, cool. So anyone else? Marsha?
On top of everything, I heard that I had cooking.
Cooking, yeah.
Yeah, we confined in our house. My husband and I work from home. But I add my oils. I love to use essential oils. It's also like a form of communication, I believe, with the world for me. Hair, makeup, jewelry, clothing. Yes, it's also a way to communicate.
Actually, jewelry, this is an interesting point. I cannot leave the home without earrings. I don't wear usually anything else, but earrings are very important.
Yeah, me too. I wear very little, not flashy, but yeah, some rings, some earrings.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness, you know, I hadn't thought about
mask. Now we have masks. People trying to do a lot of creativity with mask. Sometimes stare in people different kind of mask. They communicate through mask now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna add it since you said jewelry. I keep forgetting I just got married, so it's still all new. Like the ring is new, the flash is new,
Congratulations.
but you can see it's so new. But I have home, but you had said jewelry, so I'm at home. I'm in lockdown.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Only took 48 years.
You're not very late. I know a person who got married in 59, first time, happily married with
Wow.
and grandchildren, already done, everything in a package.
Okay, so
So I'm glad you said jewelry. I wouldn't have thought about it. But people see it now and they're like, oh, she's married. I forget that they see and make that association for me. That's interesting. It's different.
Yeah. Very interesting. And also like in different cultures, it's different kind of jewelry or different kind of thing what you put. Sometimes it's also the hairstyle. I know in some Asian cultures, the way how you do your hair will tell whether you are married or not. And like yeah, anyway, we don't know to find.
No, it's or like where you put the flower on one side in, Pacific cultures.
Yeah.
One side means married, one side doesn't mean married. Same thing. You're so tuned in.
Yeah, so the objects are actually very important because we do communicate not just through words, what we're saying, but also through objects. And often some objects are even more important in some cultures than the words. There are some cultures where like you talk through the presence, talk through the what you give or what you don't give, what you give, like for example, in the meal, when you sit by the table, what you give first, what you give second, and it's like how, I know in Kyrgyz culture, I have a Kyrgyz friend and I've been to Kyrgyzstan, they have, depends on which like, if there's a big event, they cook, well, sorry if there are any vegetarians, they cook an animal, and it depends on which part of the animal is given to the guests. It depends what kind of attitude they have towards that guest. So that's, but because animal in this case, they consider it as just as a meal, not, unfortunately, not as a live being. But anyway, let's not talk about the sad part. So we're coming back to our drawings and to communication. So I have my own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shapes. So if someone hasn't muted yet, please mute so that we can have a good sound. And we can have the rounding here. We can have also not rounding here. Sorry, I'll have to mute. Yeah, yeah, now it's good.
Hey, Margarita.
Yes.
If like yours was in the center, like one of my lines crosses one of like my objects, should I have avoided said situation, or does that just happen? Here, I can show.
I mean, if it's already happened, that's fine. I mean, you can show me.
See, it's not a big deal, but I didn't realize it till just then when you said to round. It's gone through my iPhone. Sorry to bring up the phone.
No, it's
traveled through my iPhone, so it's happened. But
it's very interesting. What are these two objects?
These two?
Yes.
That's my iPhone, and that's the new art idea, the art that's getting picked up inside of the new business that this woman has decided to promote for me.
Yeah. So so maybe worth thinking why it goes through your phone. How is it connected? Because I mean, it could be just coincidence, but maybe not.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to roll with it. What you just said, to look at the symbolism of the secondary piece of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's
Yeah. So now I just want to a bit feel my shapes. And I go through them with neurographical line, and you can do the same. Just you don't have to round everything here. So it's, as I said, it's not the algorithm of removal of limitations, but I feel like I want to, especially after what happened to me today, I do want to round a bit, and just to feel a bit your shapes. And there is a reason why we do that, because the next step would be we can increase or decrease our shapes in case if they're too big or too small. Interesting, the clothing one. That's a tricky, because I had a surgery. Because of my surgery, I actually increased in size. And then now I have a bit of strange relationship with the clothing. From one hand, I don't want to look at it because many of
Margarita, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I
sure.
miss what you're doing now. You're doing a nearer shape. You're trying to round it or shape.
No, we are connecting with each shape. So like what I'm doing now is I'm going through each of my shapes and I'm feeling them. I'm feeling them through, like,
Okay.
you can round them. You do not have to round them. It's not obligatory, but you can. If you feel. If you don't feel, you don't need to do it. You can add some neurolines, like I added here some neurolines. And you can go around them with a neuroline. It's just what we trying to do now is to feel the shape, to feel this our objects, and to feel whether we want to keep them as they are, or whether we want to increase them, or whether we want to decrease them. So now I'm on the clothing, and I'm showing you the dialogue which I have with myself about the clothing, so that I can show you how we talk to ourselves and how we can decide what we do with our shape, whether we want to decrease or increase, or maybe we want to round it, or maybe we don't want to round it, maybe we want to make it sharper. Okay, so I mean, the simplest would be my phone. Okay, I lost my phone. So obviously this thing, I need really rounded, so it's really good in terms of the communication. And we breathe in and breathe out. Because for me, I mean, you don't have to do that if you feel like you're fine with that object. But because obviously I lost today my phone, so my communication with it is a bit lost. And maybe it came for a reason. I don't know yet what's the reason.
How to decrease shape?
How to do, yeah, I will show you. For example, let me show you. Yeah, like let's take this one is cooking. Okay, I'll show you on a different side because my drawing, I don't feel I want to decrease anything. So let's say you had the shape. So this is you, and this is the shape. So we have a connection to your shape, and it's too big and too important in your life, and you want to decrease it. So what you do is like you put the size which you feel comfortable. So let's say it's like something like that. So this is the size which I want. We still have this big size. So in order to remove that part, we start adding more neurolines through that part. So to some extent, and like we add it as a background lines. So in this way, we remove it and we highlight the shape which we made, the new one. So it's comparing to the old one, it's dominating. So now you can see, so this is you. So if you highlight something, I would suggest you also highlight yourself, because in this particular drawing, you as a shape is important. So we have a you and we have that other shape, and we have a connection. So now we start adding more and more lines, and then like here there are another shapes and more shapes, and more some different shapes. It doesn't have to be the regular shape, it can be anything. And so when we add more neural lines, so in this way, like you see, it's disappearing, the initial drawing. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So let's come back to mine.
And Margarita, when you're drawing the neural lines, do you take them through the other shapes? Or do you avoid?
I mean, in this particular case, the reason why I took it through the shape, because I wanted to get rid of the original, because I will take the color.
No, I was meaning the other shapes. I understood what you did. I mean the other shapes.
You don't have to. No, it's not obligatory, but when you do the background lines, see how you feel. Like now I've done my line and I felt like it goes through a bit.
Okay.
Both shapes. So it was the cooking and the clothing. So I guess, for example, the clothing and earrings are connected. So I can even connect them. I can put this connection through them. And then what else? Okay. So we now make it either bigger or smaller. So I'm quite happy with this. The cooking, it's not that important. Luggage, I wanted. So currently my luggage is not big enough, but I think it actually plays much bigger role in my life, and maybe it's not that triangle and square. I want it like to be more angular, like more interesting, more fun. So I make it bigger. I suggest you don't make anything bigger than yourself, and if your shape is too small, then you enlarge it. Because imagine if your computer is more important in your life than you, or like for many teenagers nowadays, the phone is more important than themselves. So that's not exactly actually what I'm doing now is not. So if it's too much, it's too big for you, then you decrease it. If you want to increase some importance, like luggage, I do hope that it will be more important in a sense because I will travel more. So we have pen, and here's also like the neurographic, a pen and paper. I think I want to increase it and make it more, so a bit more fun, more like, not exactly round, but it's interesting shape. So and we continue breathing, by the way. Monitor what you feel. Remember in the beginning when I was writing the words, I was feeling my tummy. Currently, I think I feel more head than tummy. I feel quite excited. It almost feels like I'm drawing on my neurographic part, but I'm still thinking about my phone, and I feel like I lost it, but it will bring something even more interesting, better. It's something new. And maybe that's true. Like if my insurance will pay me for getting a new phone, then it's even better. I can get a new phone. This phone was like already 2 years old, so maybe it's time to upgrade. And maybe another way how I also, when I when I lose something, I always say to myself, okay, that's good that I lost this object, then anything happened to me or to my family. So so computer is another important part. Funny, the computer is so small, but it does play a big part in my life. So I think I will increase it. Yeah. Because computer I use for work, computer I use for studies, computer I use to communicate. And it's definitely much bigger than my cooking. Being alone, I do cook for my friends, but that doesn't happen so often. So you see, I talked to myself about this object, and also at the same time I had some neural lines. and I increase them or decrease them. And if you feel like, you see, I do some rounding, but not everywhere. So I have quite a few lines, but rounding is just in some of them. So in this drawing, that's completely fine.
And in neural lines from object, you drawing like how you feel to draw, not specifically like connected with other object, just you.
Yes, usually we do it intuitively, but for example, here I had the clothing and earrings, and I only attach earrings to my clothing, so I actually connected them.
Okay.
And it's very funny what's happened when I connected them. You see what's happened, then I got a triangle. And this is actually very true, because when I have a clothing and when I put the earrings, they give me energy. Every day, I can't, like, you know, some people prepare the clothing in the evening and then they wake up in the morning and they put them on. For me, it doesn't work like that, because I need to feel what kind of energy I have in the morning. And then based on that energy, I select clothing and I select my earrings. So actually these two objects do bring me energy, because the triangle is also the symbol of energy. It's not just a symbol of conflict. So this is very symbolical. I haven't done it, I mean, unintentionally connected to earrings and clothing, but this triangle appeared unintentionally. So interesting. So my phone. How do you feel? What kind of feelings do you have at the moment? How do you feel in your body or in your mind? Yes, Brendan?
Oh, I wasn't saying anything, but you asked me to say something.
Oh no, because I see you switch on the.
No, it was from before. I forgot to.
Okay, no worries. Well, I was asking how do you feel? What do you feel in your body? Like, because we monitor when we do the drawing in neurographic, we monitor.
Yeah. So at the moment, I feel very calm. I feel content drawing what I'm drawing.
Okay, nice. It's funny. I have here cooking, but for some reason, my cooking, the way how I've written, I read it as a coaching. So often my friends come with asking me to coach them. I mean, I don't coach them professionally, but I do like some mini friendly coaching sessions. No, interesting. Which object do you feel you are the most connected to? Who wants to say? Okay, Bridget wrote, maybe it was some time ago, that you drew your workplace phone and also luggage, because normally traveling also, yeah, that's nice. Sorry, I just want to know in the comments.
For some reason, I really cannot draw neural lines. I'm like stuck. I look in my object in me and I don't know where to draw neural lines.
So you feel you don't want to draw anywhere?
Yeah, like my feeling, I just don't know where to draw them. I can do it mentally, but I don't want to do it mentally.
Yeah, I mean, we do them in this particular case. We don't, unless you want to connect something to something, you don't do it intentionally mentally. So like my neural lines, they came naturally. But as I said, like, for example, here I created this connection because this connection exists in real life. So I connected it also in my drawing. And so as you can see, the connection, what we do, we create from the center to the center. So if you want to connect to objects, you create it from one center to another center. So How do you feel like in terms of the lines? You don't need to draw the lines, but obviously in the neurographical drawing, the background lines, they help. So maybe if you can't think about where to put them, maybe what you can do is to just feel your papers, close your eyes and feel like which of these objects you feel the most, to which of them you are connected the most. What do you think, Marsha?
It's a problem. I'm thinking. I don't want to think now, like I am a little bit stuck.
I mean, thinking that you're stuck is also thinking. So don't be afraid to think sometimes. Like which subject, which of these objects? I mean, show me your drawing. How many objects you have?
Do you see?
No, you switched off the camera, so I cannot see anything.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so you have a couple of objects, yeah. And so why? And you are quite big compared to them, so that's good.
Yeah, it's me. I put like irregular shape, then I put like I put circle around, and I start to do some.
Yeah, and I can see some. So you have some background lines with this rectangle.
Yeah, it's a phone because I want to make it. It's too much in my life. I want to make it much smaller.
Okay, that's good. So you did add the background line. So you can add even more background lines. So like you don't see the initial shape because you sort of added them on one side, but not on the other side. So what I see, it's more for right side and then not enough on left side or vice versa.
Okay.
And then also like feel, because what background lines in NeuroGraphica do, they connect your drawing to the universe. And because with these objects we talk to other people, to universe, so it makes sense to add the background lines and just don't think too much. Rain, yes, I can see that. Beautiful. You have rain. What is the star? What does it mean?
What?
And I'm still rounding. I learn a lot by watching it.
Okay.
So I only felt like, I would do the same, but I had the same experience that you did here. This is my car. And the car turned into like a bit of a sunburst. I share my car with my husband and I've never shared a car. So there's a tremendous amount of things. And then the reason that is I share the car because I'm not working and that gets complex. So there's that Pilates studio. So I haven't really gotten in my car, gone to work, like I'm a Pilates instructor. That's my image. And I haven't gone to work in a year. So it's been a strange experience. When this arrived, I did almost the same as you. I was like, oh, there's that triangle. And it's just now been coming back around to get back to work, go to the studio that my friend owns. And she's like, just do some videos, But what I experienced from this, when you say, what are you writing and what are you feeling? Everything was going really well till that showed up. But then there was all the anxiety that came from this topic of like, I'd rather enjoy being at home. I don't really know if I want to go to work. And then going, oh, how cool. Because for me, every time we do this, I learn about myself. And so I was like, it was very reflective and I would have never, and then this part I felt sort of cool because then that's the neuro time thing where I was like, oh, look, it all goes together. Oh, it got wider. And again, just observation from taking one class and then seeing the language building. I kind of feel like it's a message. I would have never sat down and done this. So I think it's quite magical. I'm glad you showed us yours and other people showed because it's a very abstract list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of for me, it's a gratitude bit of list,
Yeah, it's nice. Well, thank you. That's very interesting. Anyone else would like to share the drawing before we go into the next step? Okay, if not, No one else? So then let's go to the next step. And the next step would be the coloring or archetyping, as we say. And here I suggest you take pencils, because pencils can be connected to each other in better way than the markers. So I would suggest in this class, in this course, NeuroConnection, we use pencils more than the markers, because pencils can be blended and connected to each other. You can use watercolor markers to some extent, but I suggest maybe try pencils first. So, and yeah, and let's add the color. I mean, we haven't done yet the course on coloring, which is going to be very soon, I think in March, according to the timetable. But so you can add the color how you feel, or what does this color mean to you. I will add the color based on what does it mean in neurographic. For example, red in neurographic is energy. So I will add a bit of red to the luggage. So I'm looking forward to traveling, and maybe more orange as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
While you're coloring, I have to stop. So now, before with other algorithms, etc., you know, you'd be like not coloring one object, but here you've kind of got objects. So are you going to parcel up things or try to connect things?
Actually,
or does that rule kind of expire a little bit?
This rule doesn't expire a little bit. So as you can see, I even go out, because what I want to show, this energy, which gets from the luggage, it goes to me.
Okay, I see what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's helpful. And so the rule is, because I've been trying to watch the videos for the coloring and haven't taken, I notice a lot of people outline, right? If you don't want to record it, that's fine. But I notice people will darken an area that they've already done. They'll outline it. And then to me, that makes the segments, you know, break apart. And then they'll color it all the same color. So it's like all the little bubbles might be outlined, but it's all the same color.
Mm-hmm. I mean, different people do differently. So there's no like rule, you're supposed to do this coloring in this way or another way. There's one important way which you're not supposed to do in Neurographica, and which I can see in many people who does, like who maybe listen Neurographica. I'll take another. So
no islands. No islands.
Yeah, no islands. That's what I want to say. So like I will do the burst. I just want to show it to everyone, so you know it.
Sure. Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with today's class, but this is something what I just want to pay your attention to, of not doing. So we don't do like this. We don't color one part and then another part and then one more part. I mean, in general, we learn it in the class of the basic.
But you know what I mean when you see people with the pencil and they might outline their multiple shapes.
I know what you mean, but that's fine. You can still outline if you feel it. It's more like a fixation then in that case. It's not not so much coloring as you do fixation. So when you outline something, you need to be careful. So what I've done here, we are not supposed to do. This is wrong. So this is wrong, and we don't do that in Neurographica. We don't do the fragmentation. We don't do that. This is just to show that what's not supposed to do. You still can do one of the objects in one color if you feel, and you don't go with this color anywhere else. That's fine. It's not wrong, but we don't work cells by cells, so it's not a mosaic. We don't do mosaic here. That's the most important.
Right. So, I'm just noticing with the bigger shapes, you might not get 5 cells. That's all. But you're just going to use the whole paper and utilize the space. Yeah.
And I mean, it's still fine if you want to put the color only within one shape. And because, I mean, this is a big shape. For example, this one, I have only 3, like sort of 3 cells. I still can use it because it's one shape, is one hole. It's okay, and it's not like a small cell and small cell. So if I start coloring this part and this part and this part and this part, this would be wrong.
That's helpful.
Yeah, because the idea of the color is to archetype, to unite.
Yes. Okay. Good. No, you have Lana is correct when she wrote, you pay really good attention to detail. So I knew you would have a good answer. Yes, you guys balance each other very well. It's good, yin and yang. All right, I got that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we have quite different style, but I think that's also beauty, because in this way you learn different things from us. And but I do realize it sometimes might be confusing, but but that's why it's good to ask in the group. So this is I've done with my luggage. Maybe I want to give a bit more energy from luggage to me. And then my clothes and earrings. Whew. So ask yourself when you choose the color, why you choose exactly that color. Like, for example, for me, in this case, I've chosen this green for this triangle of combination of earrings and clothing, is because I want lightness, and my clothes always, the idea of the clothing is to bring the lightness. But at the same time to bring energy, actually. Saying that, it's not just lightness, it's energy. So for example, in other people doing the highlighting one shape, that's what I'm gonna do now with this triangle, because my triangle is green, so I don't want to mess this green, but it has also energy, so I want to add this orangey red, or red orange, I don't know. And this one more. This one. All right.
No, it's really helpful to watch as you explain it, because that's where I've gotten caught. Like, oh, what is the rule? How do I do?
There are not that many rules, like you should do only this and never do that. It's more about understanding why you do what. But definitely don't do cells unless it's like a one shape, which symbolizes something for you. Then you can do it.
Yeah. No, it's really helpful, because what I start to realize is I'm watching people's styles as well.
Yes.
So I haven't taken any of the color classes or the other one that you're doing. So, just watching people draw in color and archetype is often what I'm doing. So it was helpful to have you explain it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Often, for example, people do the field lines with one color and then highlight them in the different ones. So this also can something what you could see.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you. It's confusing but it's not, because I got it. You were perfect. Thank you.
So any other questions? Maybe someone else has some questions, or everything is clear? You see, my earrings are very colorful. It's funny. But they bring a bit of wisdom to me. Remember to monitor your body and to remember how you feel about the topic, about communication, and who you are and why these objects are important to you, how they help you to communicate with the world, and what do you want to do about it. So currently we saw already what it is, and now the next question is, what do you want to do about it? Whether you want to change it, whether you want to make something different with it. So in fact, my cooking, I use pink or red, and because this is how I show love towards other people. And we remember breathing. Breathing is important. It's almost like a sound becomes too. And by the way, you don't need to put the color all over your paper. You can leave the space white as well. It's not like you need to put color everywhere. Mhm. Interesting. Yeah, a bit. I add brown to my clothing as a bit of structure, because clothing helps to structure my day, structure my mind. Whew. Interesting that I've done this side, but I didn't touch that side, which is phone, computer, and your graphic with pens and papers. Oh, when I said the phone, I feel my tummy. Painful. So what do I want about my phone? Which color I want? I want green. Because now obviously I need to get a new phone, so I want this to be as easy as possible. As light as possible. You see here, I was more coloring from the figures towards me. Here, finally, because I didn't feel it like otherwise, here I finally feel like I want to connect this part. And I use one color just to, for this part of the drawing. Because previously I didn't feel that. Now there is, it's quite interesting. Now I feel my head. Not realizing how important the phone is for me. Because I usually, I don't have, like you see, I live in central London, so I don't have a car. And I usually move with this city bike. For one, I have the key, but the other one I unlock using the phone. So now I just realized my transport is gone. It's not just the phone, it's bigger than that. So I definitely need a replacement quick. Thinking about it. Which object is the most important to you? Which one you like the most? From all those which you have put. You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and tell it to the class. It's up to you. So how do you win? I think everyone is so busy drawing. You're not ready to communicate. I'll leave you for a couple of minutes. to draw. So if you have any questions and you don't want to say, you can write them. And if you're watching from Facebook, you can write them in the comments and I will be happy to answer. So, okay, let's do some silent drawing if no one wants to communicate, and also keep myself quiet for some time so you can be with yourself rather than with me just talking and talking and talking. Sometimes it's necessary. We're still coloring, so we're still adding the color. I'm just going through my different shapes. So this was my phone. So now I'll go through computer and then I'll go through pens and markers. And so very bright, very colorful drawing I have. Oh, sorry, I told her that I'm not going to speak. Pencils I use are the watercolor pencils, so afterwards I can even blend it even in more using the water. By the way, you, I think Marsha was asking about how you can, if you made something bigger and you wanted to make something smaller, how you can also remove the initial shape. You can also put the color, for example, like in my drawing, if you see, this was the initial shape, this is the bigger one. But if I put the color mainly on the initial shape, then it's also sort of the new shape is sort of dissolved, which I'm not going to do it in my case because I intentionally enlarged it. But if you want to dissolve it, then that's what you can do. That's another way how you can do it. We will learn dissolving on Sunday when we're gonna talk about how to remove the conflict, how to get rid of it. Interesting. I like this blue. It's like a water blue. So here I highlight this my shape because otherwise I feel it's a bit dissolved in my colors. So that's also the other reason why you want to highlight if you feel you don't see the shape. But if you want to dissolve the shape, you don't need to highlight it, obviously. Because this is a neurographic, this is my pen and paper and my markers and pencils. So they are important to me, and I add some red for the passion, for energy. It's very colorful here. It's all colors in one because I think that's what pencils and pens give us, the colors. And as you can see, me became very colorful and connected, but that's actually quite typical me. I'm a very colorful person. I have very colorful clothes and I like colors in my life. So I'm not surprised. And I almost finished with my colors. Yeah, I think in today's drawing, there's all been no white space left, but that's fine. That's what I want. But that doesn't mean it has to be like that. If you want to leave white space, you can, because white is also a color. So if you keep things white, it doesn't mean it's wrong, no. But what I need to do, I think, is to highlight a bit my shapes because they are sort of dissolved slightly. I don't highlight them too much, like with the black marker, so that they don't dominate, but I want them to be seen. Otherwise, it feels like just a one piece of color. Interesting, my earrings are like violet, and that's actually very symbolic because they give me some kind of wisdom energy. They give me the mood for the day. Sort of, okay. So now I'm done with my drawing. Do you have any questions at this stage? Because we almost finished with our drawings. We still need to do the fill lines and we need to do the fixation as usual in NeuroGraphic. We've done our background lines when we were doing the composition. So do you have any questions for this stage? Marsha, do you have questions? Oh, no, no questions. Okay. Okay, fine. So if no one has questions, then we go forward and we do the the fill lines, and then we do fixation. So because I was drawing with the black liner, so I will choose also the black one for the fill lines and for the fixation. I just need to find the red one. So I will first, actually, I'll do a bit different. I'll fixate myself. Because in the end of the day, that's what's important. All objects are just objects. My main communications is from me. And then I will add some fill lines. I think I'll do it through luggage. And then what I'll do, maybe neurographic and earrings, yeah. When you do the fill lines, you think about what is important for you on your picture. You can also just do it intuitively, or you can do it thinking about which of the objects are important, which one you want to highlight. So I feel like these lines are quite thick, so I might add some more, less thick, but still visible black lines. Maybe thinner. So it's not too dominating, because currently I just feel like there are only 2 lines in the drawing. So I'm just adding some background lines, which are thicker. It's actually good to have 3 levels of lines in the drawing. It gives a bit of volume.
In this case, you fill lines can go through the center. It's like mandala.
Yeah, I mean, in mandala, yes, we go from the center here. Actually,
They crossing. It's okay. The crossing.
yeah, the cross. Well, in my case, they actually cross here. In general, you can do it wherever you want, but because here the center is you, so everything is connected to you. I suggest you do the fill line through yourself. It doesn't have to be like right the middle of the connection, which even though it makes sense to do it like I did, but it's not like there is a rule you only can do it there. But it's you think about where you're going. Like I suggest you go through you, because you is the center, so it has to touch you. Whether it touches you in the center or whether it just touches you, that's up to you. Okay. Any other questions? So we are finishing now for today. We're done finishing the drawing. So if you have any questions, so if you want to ask something or maybe add something, if you have any maybe new idea, you can ask now. Otherwise, I will ask you to tell me. And here I will kindly ask everyone.
I don't see much rounding. You're doing rounding?
I've done rounding initially. Also, like as I told you, I've done rounding where I wanted it to do. But here we, like at this stage of neurographic, it's not obligatory to round everything. Like when we round,
we don't round intersection. When we connect our center with the subject, we draw a straight line. We don't round these lines with anything. Yes.
I mean,
straight line from center of ourselves to object.
Yeah, no, but like if you have 2 straight lines,
they don't consider neural line.
No, I mean, as you can see, I made them afterwards a bit neural lines. But when we do initial connection, it's just a straight line. Yes, because also think about how do you want connection to be? You want connection to be straight. You want it to
Okay.
be clear. So
Yes,
that's
I
why we
see.
use a straight line.
Yeah, I see.
But in regards to rounding, we don't have to round everything. If you want to have more harmony, you round everything. But this is not the algorithm of removal of limitations where you have to round everything. So it will not be wrong if you don't, but it will not hurt you either if you do.
Mhm.
Any other questions? So if you don't have any questions, then please tell me. Let's go one by one, telling like, how do you feel today? How do you feel about your drawing, about connections to the objects? Maybe something, what did you learn today? New. And what do you expect from this course? Okay. Who is ready? Who would like to go first? Well, if no one is ready, I'll just start naming people as I see them. As we do it. I guess
Sure,
the
I can do it. I just don't. I don't want it always to be like, oh, she's talking again. But if you're looking for response and feedback,
yes, please.
I definitely came to the class to check it out because I didn't sign up yet. So in that essence, I will sign up because I got a lot out of it. So I thought there's straight away. Because I'm busy, I'm getting busier. So I was like, oh, can I fit it in? Can I fit it in?
Yeah.
But what I got out of it was, this is the first opportunity. Like I could do this again. It was, what do you say? Every class I've taken up until now has had a driving concept. Like you're producing this, you're producing that, you're coaching this, you're coaching that. Remember this, remember that. And this one was a lot of more meditational of like, well, where are you today? How are you relating to your environment? It was, and I need to do that in this time with the COVID and the lockdown and the changing. And it was very peaceful and it was very nice. And I could see myself utilizing it in reflection of where am I with other things? Where am I with, it's a very nice meditation, period. I'll get out of it. And your drawing answered all of my questions, like the archetyping and coloring. That was really satisfying to know there wasn't a method that I had missed or a class. It was just people have styles, period.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I got calmness, I had information, and something that was really self-applied and self-love and self. I haven't had that. And so I love that you provided a space for that in real time. So thank you. The real time is part of it. Like my family had to give it to me and I had to ask for it. So it's very good for me to keep doing this.
Oh, that's nice. Well, thank you so much.
Personal health? Yeah, right? Personal health.
Yeah, great.
Or sane mommy. It's different, right? Anyone who has children knows, yeah.
Wonderful. So who would like to tell next? Well, how did you feel during the class? What did you take from it? Shelley.
I have realized that I need harmony, and because I haven't done much rounding, and I feel the need to go back in and round.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
I also realized how important my art is to me. I'm an art teacher.
Oh, wow.
So my art supplies, because I'll just show you the art supplies and such are right over here.
Mhm.
And that's where I put all my colors so far.
Yeah.
But I sense a dire need to get back in there and do the rounding.
Yes, I mean, that's actually what I'm doing now, because I feel like now I want to do the rounding, but before that I felt like, no, I didn't want to. And in this
But-
drawing, like I did some rounding before, but not that much. So it's good.
And-
It's good to go with your feeling.
Yeah. And as Rain said, the self-care, taking time for yourself.
Mhm.
I realize how important that is.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you so much, Shelley. That was very nice to hear you, and I'm glad you understood the importance of self-care through it. Sometimes we focus too much on everything else except ourselves, and this drawing helps us to focus on ourselves. So who is next? Brenda?
I did enjoy the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I learned more about communication, so that was quite interesting. It was interesting that we did communication with objects, because we use these objects all the time in our life for a lot of important stuff. And so it was interesting to focus and see how communication is with objects. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, and who's left? Marsha?
I realize particularly me, I should think more about communication with its subject, to pay real attention to it, because whole process for me was very mental. Until I start rounding. I understand that it's like object, most of the part, it's like out of my energy field. I have to embrace it more. And to pay more attention, just to give more meaning to this. Yes, for some reason I have some emotional block with this, and I have to continue rounding and to figure out why I have it.
Yeah.
It's not coming out.
Yeah, well, definitely, if you feel blocked, then it's good to round, and then maybe if you after you round everything, then and if you still feel blocked, then I suggest you do the algorithm of removal of limitations. You know this algorithm, right?
What?
Do you know the algorithm of removal of limitations?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think if you draw it and the block is not removed after the rounding, after the conjoining, then I suggest you do the algorithm of removal of limitations just on that topic, so that you can work through the what is blocking you and why it is blocking you.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
That was the best. I mean, that was the best use I've ever seen people use Neurographica to coach somebody to move forward. I just have to recap that as a moment, because most people you were very clear, like use this algorithm and then you'll get this and then work that and then come back. That's that coaching thing. I know it was you. That was brilliant. I just thought I'd capsulate that for you, because you might not even know how brilliant that was as a teaching tool for any of us that are watching the coaching side of this. For me, I just had to do a whoo.
Thank you, Rain, for the kind words. I appreciate it.
It's coaching, you took something that she's invested in and said, hey, you have all the tools. This is how you use them. How empowering, how awesome. Yes.
Well, I'm glad it's helpful. So Brigitte, if you want, you don't have to. I know you're not feeling well, so you're muted. If you want to say something, then yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed a lot and I feel quite better than before. my drawing, and it was strange for me, these connections to the objects. It was new,
Yes.
but very interesting, and my coloring is very different from the other times when I do neurographic. It's funny.
Show me if you don't mind. It can show the
I mixed much more the colors in it.
Yeah, yes, that's beautiful. Indeed, like, because when we communicate, we interact, we connect. So by mixing the colors, we have that
Sure.
kind of connection.
Okay. Fine.
No,
That's great.
thank you so much.
Thanks.
That's great. So, well, we've done a great job today. It's 2 hours now. We had a really nice drawing, and I've enjoyed spending time with you. And just to recap, we drew today our world. We drew today like the self-portrait through the world. So this is like who we are based on the objects which surround us. And this can be different kind of objects. In my case, it was the phone, computer, pens and paper, luggage, cooking, clothing, and earrings. Earrings is probably the most unusual, but it's actually quite defining me as well. So that was a really interesting drawing. And on Sunday, we will go through the drawing with people. And it will be very interesting connection. It first will be I and other person. So we will be able to connect to other person to establish better connection. So this works very well if you want to improve connection with someone, like with your beloved one, or maybe with your boss, or maybe with your colleague, someone who is important. And then we also will talk about well, not actually talk about, we don't talk, we draw. So we also will draw about how to stop connection or how to resolve the conflict with someone. So if you have a conflict, how you can do that. And then we will talk about this, how to make bigger, smaller, how to cut connection, or how to keep the connection, but make this person a bit far away from us, or maybe not as important in our lives as it currently is. So this is what we're gonna do on Sunday. And then Lana will do with the family, and then it will be next week. So who is ready to join? You are more than welcome. I will, after this lesson, I will publish again on in our group in the World of Neurographic the link. Actually, I said that the 30% is valid until Thursday evening, but I thought it would be silly to remove it before the class because now you can feel what it is. So if you would like to join, you're more than welcome if you haven't joined yet. So yeah, wonderful. And,
2 Sundays, yes, Margarita? Sunday, Sunday, Friday,
yes.
Thursday.
Yes, next day is Sunday, so it's the 31st of January. And for the people who join, then I will make a bit small poll. Maybe I will do a bit late on Sunday because currently it's 10:30 a.m. in the morning, and if people from United States, it will be maybe too early. I think it's like 5.
I'm okay, but I don't know where anyone else is. That's
Okay,
fine.
so we'll see then, and if it's too early, then
Yeah, what is that, 10:30 California time? It's early if you get far West Coast.
I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's like 5 o'clock or something in the morning.
No, it's 10, so it's 3 hours difference.
It's not 3 hours, it's more.
It's early. Oh, for me though, it would be. So if you wanted West Coast time, if you had anyone in California or Mountain, Midwest, like in California to take this class on a Sunday, it would be 7:30 a.m.
No. It's 10:30 a.m. in London. So London and United States, I think it's 5 hours currently, if I'm not mistaken.
So then it would be 8 hours for anyone West Coast.
Yeah.
I got it.
No, anyway, everyone can.
It doesn't matter. I'm so sorry. It's a good class. You messed up my brain. I even got it confused. But you're correct.
No worries. So
whatever you do is fine. I'll be there.
So in any case, everyone can see it in the recording, so that's always available.
Cut all that out, though, right? You're gonna edit that.
So The classes are always available in the recording in the group, and then afterwards you're always welcome to submit your drawing for the supervision and for the people who joined the whole course. And then after that, after the supervision of all the drawings we do, and then you'll get also certification. So this course is also certified course. And if you later will want to become an instructor, so this is also the good way. It's another step, because this course will be also as a part of your instructor work. So. Okay, if anyone has any questions, you're more welcome to. Yes, Brenda?
You had said in the beginning that the way we draw will tell something about us, and you will see in our drawing. So what was that we were supposed to look for?
Yes, what I was telling is, we actually covered it, but I'll just remind you. So it's about which objects are big in our lives and which objects are small in our lives, and what we want. Like for some people, they might draw, I don't know, with a phone bigger than themselves. So that means
understood.
That some object is dominating your life, or they might draw something way too small, whereas this object is more important. Like, for example, my computer was here, and it was way too small, even though the computer is something what I use on every day. I think I spend more time with a computer than without computer, if we don't count the sleeping. So it's definitely quite important. So I enlarged it in its importance, but it's still not as important as myself. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I have a question about field lines. It's okay in this case to have more field lines than you have, like 2. It's okay to have 3, 4.
Yeah, it's fine to have 3, 4, as long as it's not becoming too many. There's no like a rule that you have to have only 2 field lines, or you can have only 5 field lines. But as long as it's like the field lines don't dominate your drawing. So actually, it's fine that they dominate, but the idea of the field lines is that when you look at the drawing, the fixation and the field lines are the first what you see. If you have a bit too many, then you don't have this focus. Here in my drawing, when you look at it, you straight away see that it's myself and that's my field lines. So it can be 3, that's fine. It can be like, it can be more. There is no wrong. It's just more about the perception of the drawing, how you see it. So you feel free to add more. So any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Okay, if no questions,
See you Sunday.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda. See you on Sunday.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for being with us.